What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be reviewing the Canon R5, and yes, I'm a little late to the game, but these are going to be my viewpoints on the camera, so let's jump into it. The main talking points of this camera is 8K RAW video, 8K RAW light, 4K 120 frames a second to get that super buttery B-roll, and just the ability to shoot 8K in a compressed format, which is going to be ideal for a lot of y'all. The camera has a 45 megapixel sensor, so for a lot of social media this is kind of pointless because you're not going to be able to view a 45 megapixel photo. But for the ability to crop super far in, and it allows you to keep a lot of that detail, that's going to be the most ideal scenario. Or if you're just printing large prints or large files or something like that, it's going to be ideal. We're almost getting into medium format territory, which is going to be a crazy scenario. Coming from the Canon R, I find that the Canon R5 to have a lot more dynamic range. This is like a non-scientific test, but just for me playing around with the raw files, I find that you have a little bit more room to push the shadows and highlights and just the colors in general. So it does have more dynamic range, which is always a plus. Nobody's complaining that they don't want more dynamic range. The Canon R5 allows you to film in C-Log and C-Log 3, which is more ideal than just the Canon R's C-Log. This is getting into more of the cinema line of C-Log features. When you're filming in C-Log, it also allows you to film in aperture priority mode. So for those run and gun shooters or the vloggers that are just filming themselves like I am right now, aperture priority mode, you just set it, forget it, you have C-Log, so you can do your color grades after. All the Canon R cameras have this amazing flip out screen. The Canon R5 is no different. It just allows you to see what you're filming. Like, I'm looking at myself on this side, which is actually this side of the camera, but it allows you to view yourself, you know, check exposure, check the framing and everything like that. A lot of the other camera brands don't have this. I know Sony has, I think, 1 or 2 cameras that they just incorporated this feature, but Canon's been doing it for years, which is the most ideal scenario. The other workaround is to film it and then check it on the back of the camera, but you don't want to do that all the time, or having an external monitor, and that nobody really wants to carry around an external monitor because the weight, the size, it just looks a type of way. The camera does have dual card slots, one CF Express card and one SD card. The CF Express cards are insanely expensive. Make sure you get a card that is fast enough for what you want to shoot, because I know a couple people who bought cards thinking that it'll be fast enough. They just said CF Express, get it home, unbox it, and they can't shoot 8K raw video, and they're kind of upset about that. So make sure you get a card that's fast enough, as well as get a card that's big enough for what you're filming. I was gonna pick up a 128 gigabyte card, and then I realized that I could only film for like 7 minutes or something along those lines, and I'm just like, yeah, it's not gonna do it for me. I have to get a bigger card. For all my photos, I love shooting with SD cards because everybody has them. If you run out, you can easily pick another one up. I use a MacBook Pro, and my MacBook Pro has a card reader for an SD card, so I don't need a dongle or anything like that. I can just slap it in my computer, dump the footage, and then move on. So that is definitely ideal. You can download images and videos from the USB port on the side of the camera, but it's extremely slow. If you are shooting 8K video, you're gonna wanna get a card reader for that, and those are also pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. I think I spent 160 Canadian on my card reader, and the prices do add up extremely fast. I will say that the Canon R5 eats up battery life. Normally with my Canon R, I could get away with 1 or 2 batteries, but with the Canon R5, I would say that you definitely need at least 2 batteries. If you're going out for like a full day shoot, you're gonna probably need 3 or 4 batteries. So I'm probably gonna end up picking up a couple more at some point. I'm gonna try to find a deal, maybe wait for them to go on sale or something. The camera does have IBIS, but a lot of people are complaining if you're using a wide angle lens like I am right now, I'm using a 15 to 35, that the corners of the image have wobbles using the IBIS built in. But if you're using more of a zoom lens, you're not gonna get these wobbles. And it's just in video. It's mainly for people if you're recording yourself, but Canon did release a firmware that did address these, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I haven't tested it myself, but I'm going to be updating my camera soon as I get home to see if this is still a thing after this update. Hopefully they address it, and yeah, should be a good look. I was just about to talk about the overheating on this camera, and I personally haven't had it overheat on me, but the little red light of death icon started flashing just now, and the camera is going to overheat soon, which the update also fixed this heat dissipation or something along those lines. Maybe there's an ability to override it. So I'm hoping I can do that and see how that also turns out. But I was gonna talk about the overheating, that it's non-existent, but I'm getting the red light of death right now. The camera ended up pretty much turning off because it overheated. I had no more minutes to film, but hopefully the update fixes this problem. The camera wasn't super hot like most people are saying, that it's scorching hot. Like, yes, it is warm. It's not hot enough to burn you or anything, but I still think this is an amazing camera overall. Definitely worth the purchase price. It is high. It's definitely expensive, not gonna lie. I got mine on a crazy deal, but hopefully this footage does look good. I was filming pretty much in direct sunlight, so who knows on how exactly it's going to look. Hopefully I can push the RAW on this camera to bring back all the highlights and shadows, make it look decent. I wanted to test that out and see how it actually would look. But yeah, I'm definitely in love with this camera. It's gonna be a lot more content to come. If you do have any questions, please leave it down in the comments down below. And what camera do you use? I'm curious to see what people are using. Maybe I'll pick one of those cameras out, test it out, see how it is. But that's all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until the next video, peace.